At Lowe's, before the holidays is the perfect time for upgrades and upkeep. During Black Friday, get up to 50% off select major appliances and buy more to save more with up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Plus, grab select DeWalt 20-volt max drill or impact driver kits for just $99. Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 12/3. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino for the next 3+ hours. Getting you set for Monday Night Football on today's 3-hour program. We have plenty of Week 13 reaction. In the National Football League, we have championship games set, point spreads, a couple of them on the move anyway. We'll get into those. The entire Lane Kiffin mess, which we'll try to unpack a little bit throughout the contest or the show today. We have Nick Whalen on the program in 30 minutes, Warren Sharp in 90, and an entry by the name of Love My Baxter, who in 2020 won Circa Survivor, and this year was part of the team that took down Circa Grandissimo. Pretty good. Pretty good. How was the Thanksgiving weekend, Pauly?
Good, not bad. Yeah, felt good. Good football. Couldn't pick a winner in college, and it wasn't the best slate of games yesterday, but not bad. Yourself?
I feel like there's at least one weekend every single football season where it kind of breaks you, and I felt like this one was that for me.
Yeah.
Because of exiting with Baltimore on Thanksgiving night, and then, you know, the dream was right there for us, right? And then that didn't happen, and it's devastating because of how much time you put into a contest like that. Mm-hmm. And then because the slate, as you just said, until the Sunday night game, the overall, other than the Rams and the Panthers, the game stunk yesterday for the most part.
Late games, yes.
Although late games, oh my God.
Although it was the Viking game was like a car crash. You can't look away. You're driving past. It's like, I'm going to slow down. What is this? 160 yards and the worst interception in NFL history. With the pick six, what Brosmer did.
Yep.
But then you're looking at maybe you're going to get bounced again as Herbert breaks his hand. And you got Trey Lance in there for all the marbles.
At that point, I actually I sent the message out. I'm like, I'm turning the game off.
Yeah, right.
I said, I hope that we're still in it so we can talk about it either later on tonight or tomorrow.
Oh, man. Good news was they're going to gash him on the ground, and the Raiders can't tackle, and it's still Geno Smith. But that got a little hairy where it's 7-0. They couldn't punch it in. At 4th and 1, they got stopped. The interception, he still comes back in the game, and then somehow they get the win and cover. And what happened with the sequence to go up 17 as well. So
I got to tell you,
yep.
I really tip my cap to the people at the very top of Circa Millions and how they've been just phenomenal this year, better than ever, pretty much with the percentages. This is an exceedingly difficult football season to figure out a lot of these teams. Like, you know what you're going to get with the Raiders. The Titans again did it yesterday.
Yep.
But that Panthers game is the perfect example.
Yep.
So that team has a negative point differential. They're 7-6, and yet they have the 2 double-digit outright wins this year in the NFL. Only team to do that once, and they did it twice.
Yep. And Stafford played like old Stafford.
Where'd that come from?
The tip pass interception in the end zone. The pick six was horrendous. They got whatever they wanted going up and down the field, and they lose the game. Bryce Young didn't do anything. 200 yards again. Again, 10 of the 12 games, he's thrown under 210 yards. The blown coverage on McMillan. But the pick six, the turnovers, the fumble, and you got to respect your opponent. And I know a couple of Rams players said that after the game, that this is a wake-up call. But this team, to have a winning record, and all 7 wins are as underdogs, it's incredible. Like, are they going to make the playoffs as a dog every single week?
Right, are they going to win that division?
Right? They've already gone over the win total. I still think Tampa's going to win the division, but it wouldn't be outrageous to suggest that they could still beat Tampa, or Tampa stubs their toe, and this team that's an underdog in every single game, remember, when they were favored, they lost to the Saints, which is hilarious,
right?
That they're going to pull this off, and they're a below-average team.
Well, I would say, to me, like, I'll buy anything at this point. If you told me the Panthers are going to win that division and then all of a sudden, like, be a player in the playoffs, okay. As dumb as that sounds, you can't really rule that out because they, again, have outright wins over Green Bay and over the Rams yesterday. And Matthew Stafford, when he threw that first touchdown to Devontae Adams yesterday, that was 28 straight touchdowns with no INTs. That set a record.
You're right.
So, and then after that, 2 straight INTs. One of them was a pick six.
Mm-hmm.
Like that against Carolina.
Well, that's the thing, though. The two losses, or the two wins that you're talking about, the Rams and the Packers were atrocious. So it's kind of like the Steelers, who stink. If their opponent turns it over 4 or 5 times, yeah, then they're probably going to win. But if you play clean feet football, don't beat yourselves and don't do anything stupid, then these are below average teams and they're going to be at home in January.
Yeah.
But if you're going to get these turnovers and gifts like that, then maybe they sneak in there and they're plus 330 at DraftKings to make the playoffs. That really opens it up now. The Rams, it's a bad loss, and now that game at Seattle on that Thursday night is going to be for everything.
It means everything at that point. Yeah, they had a stranglehold on the 1 seed, basically.
Gave it all back.
And now the Bears are sitting there as currently the number 1 seed in the NFC.
No, we'll never see this again. The Bears are the 1 seed. At FanDuel, they're the 7th choice to win the NFC and the 14th best Super Bowl odds.
Yeah, and they're like 5.5 or 6-point dogs this week.
Yes.
I would actually love to see Chicago win this week.
It'd be juicy.
I'm so far removed from...
Did you get Ben Johnson tickets?
Oh, I have him.
He's down to 3-1.
I got him at 30.
Yeah, I don't know why Shanahan's not getting any credit. He's 22-1. But I'm with you on the Ben Johnson thing.
I tell you, the Liam Cohen team is going to be... Not Liam Cohen, sorry about that. Dave Canales.
Well, there's a lot of guys.
Paul? If they win that division and win 10 games, he's not going to have an unbelievable case?
There's a lot of guys. Cowboys keep winning. Eagles keep losing, Chicago keeps winning. But then again, it's going to be hard to overcome Vrabel if they win 14 games. And I think Steichen, bye-bye now. That's the other thing.
Well, and
you pointed that out weeks ago. This is real, that the Colts can miss the playoffs.
Their best number now was obviously, and that's long gone. They're down to like 2-1 or maybe a little bit more than that to miss now. Mm-hmm. And they have obviously a very difficult schedule coming up. And who do you trust overall? We can put the NFC on the back burner for a second here, but in the AFC, again, we saw last night with Denver, they tried to give the game away.
Washington played a good game, but
they did.
Denver plays down to their competition, and Bo Nix is just he's going to screw up at some point. I don't know where he's throwing that ball on the interception, but that was a fantastic game, but shame on the Broncos again.
Yeah, I know. Had no idea what he was doing with that.
Yep.
And so overall, his final stat line looks pretty good, but that INT was egregious. And that defense gave up 400-plus yards to Marcus Mariota, and I get it, they had some guys back last night. McLaurin was fine and dandy. But I mean, is it going to be the team that we're watching tonight? Is it going to turn out to be Buffalo as a team that we trust the most in the AFC?
No way.
I just don't know who that team is.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly not the Chargers with their injuries. It's nobody coming out of the North. Is it potentially, dare I say, the Houston Texans? If Stroud does not miss any more time.
I think I'm there. And him getting hurt in the the Denver game was huge because they were going to win that game.
They were.
And now we got 2 playoff games this week. The Thursday night game's a loser leaves town match, and pretty much the same thing in the Sunday night game. Houston can still lose and get in, but Kansas City's cooked if they lose. But you're right, with that defense, and I don't know if they have to make a quarterback change or what, but it's a whole different ballgame when this guy can't run.
Sure.
So we pointed out yesterday on the best pregame show that's out there, we do every Sunday, he can't move. He's compromised. He ran 1 time for 1 yard. And so all this...
It's part of his game.
Yeah, I mean, if he can't move and you're going against this ferocious pass rush, good luck. Then I can sell out to stop the run. It's a completely different team now. And it's now Jacksonville a couple times and San Francisco and how difficult their schedule is. So Houston plays them week 18 as well. So with that defense, and now that you have the weapons in a running game, if they're clean, and that was a misleading score, they should have won comfortably. That is a team that can go to the Super Bowl. Absolutely.
Remember what they did to Herbert and the Chargers last year in the playoffs. They followed it up by going to Arrowhead, and they were the better team that day. They outgained KC significantly, and they gave them the game. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they were going to go to the AFC title game. And I was big time on Houston last year to win the AFC. I don't have anything on them this year.
Yeah.
And they might turn out to be it.
I'm surprised you're positive with the Bills.
No, I just don't know who else in the AFC, I guess.
That was all Pittsburgh. All Pittsburgh. And it was a great job by the fans to boo, leave early, and chant fire Tomlin.
Yeah.
Because it's enough already.
Yep.
I mean, that is the most rushing yards they've allowed at home since 1975. Rodgers, this is on the coaching staff, too. Rodgers, after the game, saying it'd be nice if guys could show up to meetings and we could get on the same page because they don't know. I'm checking at the line of scrimmage and they don't know what I'm doing.
That's exactly right.
And then T.J. Watt says, I can't believe they're running the same play over and over and over and we can't stop it. What an indictment on the coaching staff and what transpired in that horrible performance. And Buffalo gashing him and getting whatever they wanted on the ground. That was misleading. And if Monken doesn't run Henry 30 times Sunday, they should fire him because Pittsburgh has no answers for a rushing attack, and it's a horrendous defense, and that is all on Tomlin as well, that Aaron Rodgers cannot move. He's an old man. That turnover, everything's got to be fast, quick, and get it out, or they're cooked. The last 12 times he's been blitzed, he's 1 of 12 for 5 yards.
Now,
they just might as well put Rudolph in.
Sure. Is it my imagination, or when Joey Bosa smacked the daylights out of him on that sack, and he got all bloody as a result? Is it my imagination, or for the most part, did the Pittsburgh Steelers teammates around Rodgers ignore him right there?
Oh, not pick him up? I didn't see that.
I did not. I couldn't get a clean replay, but it looked like there was one, maybe two offensive linemen in the area, and it's not exactly like they rushed over to pick him up and say, hey, pal, how you doing?
Okay. I didn't notice that, but okay. I'll go along with you with that. But that's either way. Baltimore doesn't run away with this division now. Come on.
They were a $3 favorite before this week. They're minus 250 now.
Well,
they lost. It did move 50 cents, but
they should sweep them.
Maybe it's the Bengals that come out of nowhere.
And that's 10-1. We threw that around Friday. I think someone will get in there at a big price. I think that can happen.
Yeah, and I'll say this too, by the way. So I'm not going to freak out about the Rams, although losing the number 1 overall seed in home field yesterday.
No, right. Well, sure. But how'd Darnold look? He tried to give that game
That's
away.
exactly where I was going to go.
Oh, okay.
That defense that's like the Texans defense almost. They're so good, they're going to keep them in every single game. You have to have some major concerns about Darnold now moving forward yet again. If the Vikings had any quarterback play whatsoever, they would have won the game. They were awesome yesterday defensively, and they still lost 26-0. That's how bad the quarterback play is for that team.
You put pressure on them, and you have a good defense. It's ball game.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get JSN involved. They couldn't do anything. It was Minnesota handing them the game, and Brosmer handing them the game.
Yep. So cause for concern at the very top of the NFC as well. Monday Night Football, we'll get into that game and conference title game numbers as well in college football, where they opened and how they have moved. Coming up on Follow the Money, it's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
At Lowe's, before the holidays is the perfect time for upgrades and upkeep. During Black Friday, get up to 50% off select major appliances and buy more to save more with up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Plus, grab select DeWalt 20-volt max drill or impact driver kits for just $99. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/3. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
I'm going to call it a big one tonight, Monday Night Football. Obviously, if the Patriots lose, the same thing can happen to them that happened to the Rams yesterday. The 1 seed might become a little bit too difficult at that time. They are Patriots here. At DraftKings and FanDuel, they're 7.5. So the Giants there are 7.5 plus 120. At almost every other book, it's 7 with various juice. I think the Giants can win it outright.
Wow. Okay.
That game was one of the first I bet last week, plus 7.5. We'll see.
Right. 2-10 against 10-2, and I'd laid 7. My Patriots source is saying they had a good week of practice and they want to go in strong into the bye week and come out and get a comfortable win against this Giants team. My Giants source said,
you got sources all over all of a sudden, huh?
Both former players. Yep. The Giants source said that the market's wrong on Dart. He's going to come out to show that he's fine and rushing yards over.
I've heard the exact opposite.
Okay.
Is that
too low? It's too low. Now, I think it goes to what Dr. Chow told us Sunday. A guy, you got to be judicious about it. Don't take that extra hit. Get it and get out of bounds. Don't mess around. But he was solid on Dart rushing yards over. Could be wrong, but I respect the source.
I was reading a lot about this today. 0 design runs. And he's going to slide when he takes off every single time because he's averaging 3 yards after contact, and they don't want him anywhere close to that number tonight.
It's come down, though, big time. That's why I'm saying it's too low. Once you're talking in the 40s, and then now we're down
it's 20.
In the 20. Yeah, he's like $1.40 to have 25 yards.
Well, it could be a Daniel Jones situation where he just doesn't do it.
I think he'll run, yes. But you could be right, too, where I'm not going to take that extra hit. And I'll skedaddle and get out of bounds. I think the other big question is you fired your defensive coordinator. what does the defense look like? Horrendous run defense. And can they get after me? Now that you're down Campbell and you're down and you got to retool and rework this offensive line.
The answer is yes, because Drake May has taken the 4th most sacks out of any quarterback in the entire league this year. However, the Giants only have 26 as a team. You would think with that front, they'd be one of the teams at the very top of the list, and they are not even close. But I would say, this is why I like the Giants in the game. If I go over their schedule, if they don't lose to Dallas in overtime, they had that game wrapped up and in the bag, right?
Blew the Saints game.
You called the Saints game a fluke.
Yeah, 5 turnovers.
Okay, what if they win that game?
Scoop and score.
They absolutely gave the Denver game away. It should have been a blowout. They have that win over Philadelphia. They should have defeated Chicago. They had Green Bay. I'm not going to say that was dead and buried, but they had a great chance to win that game, and they should have defeated Detroit. If you flip those games, what's the number tonight? Patriots 2.5?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you have the record for 5 double-digit leads blown.
Sure.
And that's why Kafka came in and put the kibosh on Bowen here. So you're right. Are you going to say the best 2-10 team of all time?
I'll go that far.
Yeah, but I don't know. It didn't matter to Buffalo. Buffalo was down 2 offensive tackles. Didn't matter. We're running the ball. Hey, we're going to run the ball right at you. Nothing the Steelers could do.
And you know what?
So maybe it's okay, and Vrabel's such a good coach. They just rework it, and everything's fine. I think it was Bradbury, the center, who had a good quote about it's still, same guys. We mix and match, and the guys who've been in practice, and we'll make it work. So we'll see.
I think what you said there at the very end is the part where I have my biggest concern, and that is despite their left part of the offensive line being out for this game, the center is questionable, Bradbury, but he's going to play the way it looks for the Patriots.
He's got the flu, I think.
And you can put pressure on May, obviously.
Yeah.
I think the key here is just run it right at the Giants. They're the worst rush defense in the entire league. Every one of their metrics is either 32nd dead last or hovering around that number in the entire league.
Now the question is, who's it going to be?
Well,
now, McMillan had a touchdown, but Egbuka didn't do anything. Dart's finally back. It's still right there for Henderson if he can do this.
He has a big game tonight. His odds are going to drop like a rock. I will say this. The McMillan touchdown yesterday, that was on 4th and 2. That was a design play to go to a tight end. The Rams sniffed it out.
Oh.
And so then Young had to adjust and ad-lib. McMillan had 0 catches in the game other than that play. 0.
Oh, just like the Monday night then, too.
Yeah, so where does he go if he puts up a goose egg across the board in that game last night?
Yeah.
But that's a what-if situation. He did. That was the game winner. But if Henderson has a huge game tonight, he might become the second guy in the odds board to win this award. And I think that's got to be the game plan for the Pats. Although that kills me because I have May MVP and I have May most passing yards at 16-1. So I need a big game out of him passing, but I don't think that's how you attack the Giants in this game. You run at them.
Mm-hmm. What they should do, yes.
So, by the way, Opta AI stats, vsin.com/NFL props, they do project May to go way over his passing yards prop tonight.
Yeah, they've been strong on him all year, and they've been right on him.
Okay.
So I don't know what to do with Robinson now. That's Dart's back. I don't know because it's so cold. Also, what's going to happen? But I'm going to die on that hill that Dart's going to go over his rushing yards.
All right, we also have title game weekend in college football. Did any number stick out to you when the numbers first popped for all these title games? Yeah. I like one of them.
Yeah, okay. UNLV opened the favorite at DraftKings.
That's insane.
I couldn't believe it. Boise's at home. More on this coming up. What they've done to this sport. My God. 4 teams were tied. They used with computers. UNLV played 2 of the 3 teams. They lost to both. How are they in this game? In any event, that's up to 4 now. And again, they were the favorite. They never win this game. Mm-hmm. Great job by Mullen. And again, this is the 3rd straight year these teams have met in the conference title game. But I think Boise too good here, and they've owned UNLV. And a little tinfoil hat here. I laid $1.30 on the money line with Virginia. There's millions of dollars on the line. And again, shame on the ACC. How do you not have a tiebreaker in place that, hey, our best team that's top 12 in the polls wins tiebreakers? How Miami isn't in this game is a joke and a travesty. They also have common opponents with Duke, and it's a fiasco. In any event, if Duke wins, the ACC is shut out. No playoff. That means James Madison and the North Texas Tulane winner are both in. Too much money on the line. It would behoove the ACC for Virginia to win. and get to the playoff. I laid $1.30 on the money line.
That would be incredible if Duke, I'm not rooting against your bet, but if they do and that scenario unfolds.
Hey, 5 losses. They're in the championship game. They lost to UConn and Tulane. And Diaz is out here talking about, well, we deserve a spot in the playoff if we win because of the week in, week out. You lost to 2 of those teams.
Yeah. By the way, this is a pretty simple solution for a conference like the ACC. You should have it where it simply says tiebreaker is which team is the highest rated team in the committee rankings.
Yes. How's that not in the
rules?
Because
that's going to give that team the best chance to actually make the playoff then.
How bad did they screw this up?
Oh, it's laughable. The whole thing is just, I don't even know what sport we're watching anymore.
Yeah, I think Miami's a top 5 team, and they're not going to get in. And so they beat Notre Dame and have better record with common opponents.
So there's an angle now where Miami and Notre Dame are both left out.
That is also possible, yes.
Notre Dame's odds, they were 9-1 to not make the playoffs before the game started against Stanford on Monday night. As Alabama won the game and Notre Dame was starting, they dropped down to like 3-1 plus 250 in that neighborhood.
Well, I think there's 2 reasons. Number one, I think people are realizing this is ridiculous and corrupt. How are you going to say Notre Dame's better than Miami when they played Miami 1 and Miami's putting up better scores against common opponents and Notre Dame's schedule sucks? They won by 10 points at home to USC. Did you watch USC, UCLA? And then the other thing is if BYU beats Texas Tech, they're both out Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So that was the correct move with that coming down. And I know guys like Chris Felica and Brad Powers are still saying that it's a TV show, and at the end of the day, common sense will prevail, and they will put Miami in over Notre Dame.
I saw Miami 8-1 to make yesterday.
Did you grab some?
I did not. I wasn't here in Las Vegas.
I don't think they're going to do it. I just think it's the Notre Dame brand, and the nonsense is going to win out. It was a great tweet today from Chris Felica. When you go to their website, the college football playoff, it says principles. The second thing they look at, head-to-head. The third thing they look at, record against common opponents. Well, Notre Dame's better. They're blowing out bad teams every single week.
TV show, they make it all up. By the way, I like Georgia in the SEC title game. They're going to get revenge on Alabama.
You think so?
Oh, Alabama's playing with fire way too often.
I can't believe he went for it.
Oh, the stones on him.
Bad beat if you had Auburn.
Oh, no kidding.
Horrible beat if you had Auburn.
You imagine the pressure on that guy if he misses and they lose that game?
That's why Lane Kiffin was waiting.
I would think so.
Also, Ole Miss was in the SEC title game if Alabama lost. That would have been even more bizarre. I don't know what was going to happen. But if Alabama lost that game and missed the playoffs again, and he wouldn't kick the field goal.
Can you imagine? Think about how hated this guy is right now by a lot of regions in the country, specifically in the South. How bad is it going to be in 3 years when he leaves LSU to go to Alabama?
Yeah,
it's going to make it 10 times worse.
Good point. So interesting, Georgia. Okay. The other ones, it's James Madison coach took the UCLA job. Maybe that's a distraction, although they ran up the score. Oh. You got to run up the score angle. Tulane's coach is leaving. Summerall took the Florida job. That could be a distraction. And then again, I got it again. I got in front of Texas Tech again. They're 11-1 ATS. They bury teams every week. They're so damn good.
I thought maybe by like the middle of October you're going to learn your lesson with that team. But
every week, I know.
The whole year, I guess.
There's no letdown. They bury. Their defense is so good.
I really wish that they would have gotten Rodriguez like 4 touchdowns in that game.
They were trying.
Right?
They threw the interception, right? Didn't they have him throw a pass at the 1-2? Our Black Friday specials live, $60. Best offer yet. Everything we do through May 1st. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The betting splits, the videos, all the betting guides, vsin.com/subscribe. Get it now, $60. Come on.
All right, more on the Monday Night Football matchup and how do we look at Jackson Dart player props in this game tonight here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
More reaction to Week 13 here and some plays for tonight, Monday Night Football, and in the association as Nick Whalen joins the program now with RotoWire, and he is on the Progressive guest line. Nick, is always good to talk to you again. We kicked this around to begin the show, the Rams losing to the Panthers, and I guess we got to take the Panthers seriously, man, because they have, well, first of all, they have a winning record. They could win that division, and now they have 2 double-digit dog wins this year outright against Green Bay and the Rams. What did you notice from that game yesterday?
Yeah, the Panthers continue to just be a confounding team to evaluate. You know, they have that win over the Cowboys in pretty convincing fashion earlier this week. It's also the same team that lost to the New Orleans Saints a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So you never know which version of the Panthers you're going to get. But I was really impressed with how the Panthers ended up putting this game away, because I think it's easy to look at Matthew Stafford and say, well, he threw a pick in the end zone, he threw a pick six. The Rams just had a disaster game offensively. That really wasn't the case. I mean, they were at 7.4 yards per play. That was tied for their best mark of the season. And over, the Panthers just had an answer every single time the Rams would drive down the field. Really what Carolina was able to do, guys, was commit to the run, pound both of those running backs, Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard, and control possession, particularly in the second half. They ended up winning the time of possession battle by 10 minutes over a Rams team that typically is really good at hanging on to the ball. Carolina had a 0th percentile pass rate over expected. The Rams knew they were going to run it. They still ran it effectively, and they were able to condense the game to the point where the Rams only had 3 possessions in the second half. I mean, the Panthers had back-to-back 6 and 8.5 minute drives to begin the second half. Even that 8.5 minute drive ended in a punt, which is very difficult to do. But what you really want to accomplish is to keep the ball out of the Rams' hands. They go 7 of 15 on third down, 3 of 3 on fourth downs. I mean, all 3 of their offensive touchdowns in this game came on either third and long or on fourth downs. And you're doing that against maybe the best third and fourth down defense in the NFL. So just a really, really impressive performance all around by Carolina. I think at the very least, guys, we have to take this defense seriously. I mean, this is a ball hawking secondary.
Your level of concern with the Colts?
It's got to be fairly high, guys. It's got to be fairly high. I've been pretty big on this Colts team. The efficiency numbers all look really good, and they still do on the season. But this is back-to-back weeks now that the Colts have played their 2 worst offensive games of the season in terms of yardage. 255 total yards last week against KC, just 281 this past week against Houston. Obviously bottling up Jonathan Taylor is where that starts. Last 2 games for him, 37 carries for 143 yards and no touchdowns, which still isn't even that bad on a yards per carry basis, but it's the same guy who had a 244-yard game a few weeks ago, a 12 for 153 game earlier in the season. I think it's easy to look at the Colts and say, the defense, they can't get off the field. I think it's really more of an offensive issue right now. I mean, they ended that Chiefs game with 4 consecutive 3-and-outs. They come out with 2 consecutive 3-and-outs to start the Houston game. They're just getting crushed, guys, in terms of time of possession, in terms of plays run. Over these last 2 weeks, they are minus 61 in total plays run on offense. They're not converting third downs. They're not converting fourth downs at the rate that they were early in the season. And now you have a quarterback who will neither confirm nor deny that he has a fractured fibula, which is a pretty serious injury. Yeah. And what's the pivot, right? I mean, given their remaining schedule, you can't just say, take a couple weeks off. We'll throw Riley Leonard or Anthony Richardson out there. Like they're kind of backed into a corner where Jones has to try to play through this. It's going to be really dicey, I think, this week against Jacksonville.
Totally agree. I think they're a good candidate to actually miss the playoffs. That number is the best number on that, obviously long gone. It was around 8-1 or higher before the Chiefs game. Nick Whalen, our guest, wrote a wire, and he's on the Progressive guest line. Tonight's Monday Night Football clash. Pauly and I are on opposite sides of this. The dart angle is, that's a little confusing as well. Although I think that he might not run as much. Pauly thinks he's hearing something maybe a little bit different here. How are you looking at this game and maybe Jackson dart props for tonight?
Yeah, the dart thing, I think, is the toughest part to evaluate, right? Because there are these stories swirling around the Brian Dable firing, that a big part of the reason for that is how recklessly he was using Jackson Dart, kind of letting him run all over. Do they try to pull back on that? If they do, I think that limits the upside of this offense, right? I mean, that's what makes Jackson Dart, is his ability to gash you on the ground, to run through defenders. He's not a traditional pocket passer by any means. So that's the big question coming into tonight. I lean toward the Giants with the points here. We've seen this Giants team show up in big spots against really good teams throughout this season. They played Chicago tough. They played Green Bay tough with Jameis Winston. Obviously, Detroit a week ago. They have a win over Philly. They played the Denver Broncos in a game that they absolutely should have won at Mile High. The Chargers took Dallas to overtime. We could keep reeling off examples, but they do tend to show up against these quality opponents. And you got major injury concerns on this Patriots offensive line. You're without your starting left tackle. You're without your starting left guard. Their starting center is now questionable tonight due to an illness, Garrett Bradbury. So we could be without 3 starters on that O-line for the New England Patriots. I think the Patriots probably win the game, but I would grab points with the Giants.
Okay, so the points there and any specific player prop that you have in your account as of right now.
So I have a couple on the New England side of things. I'm kind of staying away from Jackson Dart. I want to see what this looks like before we dive in. But I do like the rushing yard prop for Drake May on the other side, over 24.5.
All right.
Giants allow one of the highest yards per carry and the most overall rushing yards this season to opposing quarterbacks. I think we see maybe a more mobile version of Drake May without that reliable offensive line tonight, going up against a really good D line for the Giants. And then Travion Henderson over 15.5 receiving yards. Again, New England's going to have to get the ball out quick. I think you're probably checking down a little bit more than you normally would. He's got 8 catches on 9 targets over the last 3 games. Giants give up the highest completion rate to running backs in the NFL. They're giving up 6.9 yards per target to running backs, and have also given up the most overall catches to the running back position this season.
Nick, it's also a pretty action-packed NBA card tonight. Big one in L.A. It's a back-to-back for them. They're taking on the Suns, and L.A. is lane 5 here. They were awesome again last night. Mavericks are taking on Denver, a bunch of other games. What do you have your eyes on here?
Yeah, I do have a play in that Suns-Lakers game. I'm looking at the over 233.5. This is almost more of a trend play than anything else, but obviously the Lakers are playing really well right now. Suns have been a surprise team out west. Lakers are 9-0 to the over at home this season. Suns are 6-3 to the over on the road. Lakers are the number 1 offense in the NBA since LeBron James returned. They're also really not any better on defense. They're 20th in defensive rating in that span. Suns kind of right in that same range over the last couple of weeks. I just think you have an over-based matchup here. A Lakers team that obviously has elite playmaking, elite scoring. They're number 1 in the NBA in free throw rate. And you have a Suns team that is taking and making a ton of threes. They just put shooters out there and fire away. So give me the over 233.5 there. And then I'm looking at Milwaukee, guys, minus 9.5 at the Washington Wizards tonight. We expect Giannis to play. Kevin Porter Jr. now back in the mix for the Bucks, and no Alex Sarr for the Washington Wizards, which I know it doesn't sound like a big deal. It matters for the Wizards. The on-off splits for him are massive. They are 13.2 points per 100 worse this season with Alex Sarr off the floor.
All right.
We're looking at potentially Marvin Bagley starting at center tonight, potentially having to guard Giannis Antetokounmpo in this game. And Washington 1-6 against the number at home this season, failing to cover those games by almost 10 points per game.
Very good. Love the breakdowns here. You can follow Nick on X. He's at Whalen, but replace the letter L with the number 1. So at Whalen with a 1. And he's with RotoWire as well. Join us here on the Progressive Guest Line. Nick, thanks as always. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Good luck tonight.
Yeah, back at you. And I'll give you some Lakers team totals here recently. If you go back to the 14th of November, they played at New Orleans. They scored $118. The next night, they scored $119 at Milwaukee. Then 140 against Utah. They had 5 days off, played at Utah. Again, they only scored 108. But since then, 135, 129, and 133. They have a bunch of other games with 120 or more in the month of November. They are a freight train.
Aiton's playing well.
Yeah.
Aravia's good. Reeves has been awesome. Luka's at an MVP level. Redick's a good coach, too. It's a nice job.
Offensively.
Getting lost, though, is, you can win the division, but I think everyone's playing for second place. Thunder are 20-1. And the scary thing, if as of right now, they're 20-1, they would own 3 lottery picks. This is unprecedented. It's the league's got to be going nuts here about, oh, my God, were they going to win 5 in a row?
Well, I'll tell you what, Presti actually has a pretty difficult job. Because how do you have 19 guys on your roster that can play?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
He's going to have to make some moves, probably.
To package all these guys for another player, too.
I guess you could do that.
I mean, they're 20-1, and then one of their best second or third best player was out for much of the season.
Well, here's the deal. If we get one more win, so the Cup resumes next week, and Oklahoma City is in it from the West. The Lakers are as well. If they each win one more game, they'll play in the semifinals. And if you give me 10 with the Lakers, would that be the number? Or is that a bit high? Because it's going to be a neutral out here in Las Vegas.
No, it didn't go well in OKC.
It did not. They got absolutely annihilated in that game. I would take a very high number with the Lakers. I don't think it'll be 10 because that's going to be a home crowd out here in Las Vegas for the Lakers. And I'll give you this. Derry Bird's in action again tonight. He mentioned he likes the Bucks. Mm-hmm. He did it again. He's been going, the alt numbers now are going crazy with AJ Green from downtown. He is now 16-5 over when the number is 3.5. That's where it is tonight. 16.5 over on the year to his prop.
Look at Powell, too. Powell's still putting up big numbers with the Heat. Although I don't know what to do with Bam now with Hero coming back.
I know.
I think the Bam threes are long gone. Bye-bye, not happening now.
And also Gillespie with the Suns, too. Mm-hmm. Likes to chuck it up from downtown. And win some, lose some. Up next, Pauly will tell you about 125-1 ticket that cashed. And 14 win totals have already been decided.
At Lowe's, before the holidays is the perfect time for upgrades and upkeep. During Black Friday, get up to 50% off select major appliances and buy more to save more with up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Plus, grab select DeWalt 20-volt max drill or impact driver kits for just $99. Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 12/3. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Most points, Panthers, 50-1. Incredible.
Oh, man.
That's a big one to start. Highest scoring game, Rams-Panthers, 6-1. First touchdown in the early games, Rams, 5-1. Fewest points, Vikings, 5-1. Condolences if you had the Titans, who got 3. The Vikings had to get shut out, and they had insult to injury, another interception, and then Seattle fumbled the interception, and the Vikings got another crack at it and couldn't move it. Last 6 quarters, 0 points, 130 yards. What's going on? How are they?
The worst quarterback play
Yeah.
we've seen in I don't know how long.
Nick Mullins was in there. He threw him for 400 yards.
Right.
Jefferson had 2 catches for 4 yards.
By the way, I asked the question a lot last week.
did.
Can
You
it
did.
actually get worse than J.J. McCarthy?
Yes.
I think it was answered with an emphatic yes yesterday.
Oh, lowest scoring game, Vikings Seahawks 8-1. Overtime Sunday night 12-1. Shutout 4-1. Offensive lineman to score a touchdown plus 850. Get in there, Wirfs. Good job.
Great play call.
It was. Most passing yards, Knicks got there late 20-1 in the overtime win. Most receiving yards also in that game, Ertz 125-1.
What?
Yes. Mitchell was 100. And Ertz gets there. Good job to offer all those guys.
Wow.
Most rushing yards, Cook 6-1. Win totals that have already been decided. Colts, Patriots, Bears, Broncos, Jags, Panthers, Seahawks. Over. Congratulations. Unders. Commanders, Bengals, Chiefs, Ravens, Cardinals, Titans, and the Vikings. Panthers money line plus 425. College football. Cal did it again. 4-1 on the money line. SMU blows it.
SMU got me really good in that game.
Cal won several games this year as double-digit dogs. Beat Louisville as an 18-point dog.
Yeah. I bet SMU at halftime with the points. I also bet them to win the game outright, and they just couldn't get a stop.
No. The quarterback's pretty good. Georgia Southern plus 350. Army plus 260. UAB plus 280. Troy 2-1. Subscribe, be part of the team. vsin.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos at Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in, we'll put you on. Look at this. Las Vegas locally tweeted this out. F1 was in town and someone bid on an auction on a McLaren. This is how they delivered it to the win. They dropped it in by helicopter. Look at this surreal video. Was it? You got Fountain Blue in the back. There he's going to the win. And they drop it in, you got on cables and everything. Here it comes. Paid millions of dollars for it. And then they're just going to deliver it. And there you go, piece of cake. Okay, right? No problem.
Not quite the Cosmo Kramer entrance, but still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I guess if you paid that much money for him, that's part of the gig, right? I want it delivered to me via helicopter.
Oh, my God. That's incredible. Great job, everyone. See something new every single day.
How nervous are you as the helicopter pilot?
Oh, right. Something goes wrong, you're going to wipe out several people. I know.
Man.
Good point. Balls of a burglar. Look at this guy. Look at the Bulldog getting ready for little football, right? Here's the kid ready with the tackle. How to prepare, make a tackle, getting ready for football, getting some reps in. But the big fella. Did you see that? Want to mimic? There you go, yeah. Get ready to start. Come on in. Yeah, piece of cake. Just give me the other one. I get another one here. Coming full steam. Okay. Good form. Technique. Fundamentally sound. Hit it, buddy. There you go. Running start. That's excellent.
I can already say this with confidence. He'd lead the Raiders in tackles.
He would? Yeah. Well done. Lose some. Saints did it again. You're not paying attention. Saints are 1-11 ATS in the first quarter. Miami tried to give that game away. Oh, boy. Yeah. Bad for the books. Texas Tech 20 up to 24.5. Could have won by 60 if they wanted to. Niners, Browns under, 38 down to 34. Nick Bogdanovich on tomorrow. I imagine it was a disaster for the books, the public books. Ohio State, Texas Tech, Miami, Alabama, Oregon, Vandy, Ole Miss, all needed the games, all won and covered. Oklahoma won but didn't cover.
Right.
But they got there on money lines and teasers. That can't be good for people just playing the, hey, they got to have a game. Or, boy.
Well, how about maybe get some chaos in college football as well? We're going to have it anyway with the selection committee, but none of those teams wanted to cooperate. They all had to win.
I know. No one went down. Great job by the Buckeyes, too. 419 to 163 in yards. Bad beats. First half under in the Niners game, 17.5. You get the 2-point conversion, and then the Niners get the field goal late. That was horrific how that played out. Rice, South Florida over 58. 52-3 final. No help from Rice. Youngstown State playoffs against Yale. They laid 3.5. They were up 35-7 in the second half. Lost the game. Auburn, vicious beat. Can't believe DeBoer didn't kick the field goal. Bad beat. Ole Miss fans. Your most successful season ever. You're going to the playoff. And now your coach left you. And taking staff with him. Horrendous what happened to Ole Miss. And Vandy. You're not going to have a better season than that either. And Vandy's not even going to make the playoff.
Right.
With what they did to go 10-2. What a strange season. Oklahoma screwed everything up.
Yeah.
Their offense is so bad. They don't belong, but you can't ignore their resume. And that fluke win that they won at Alabama with all the turnovers.
Yeah. Well, I agree with what I think it was Powers and Felica both saying this. Talking about like Miami and Notre Dame, they would easily be favored over some of these teams in the SEC that are going to make it.
Yeah, right. Or the line move. Sharp play's already there. They don't just follow the market. They help move it. Advanced AI, trusted insider sources, active across all the sports. Look for the first touchdown tweets later tonight and the Mr. Poison tweets as well. AI plays up 50 units, real-time global betting info, unmatched transparency, records updated daily, and alerts directly from the pros. Sharpplays.com. Stay ahead of the line.
How bad is this for Ole Miss overall?
It's terrible.
I mean,
it's just, they thought they could. There's a great article by John Tulte, I think his name is. He's been on the show, I forgot. He did a great job. Dan Wolken did a great job. Pat Forty did a great job. Pat Forty said Kiffin ruined the season and his reputation.
And he already had a bad reputation.
Yeah, right. They thought they build a statue for him and he'd have a job for life and never get fired. And the timing, he wanted his cake and eat it too. Get the hell out of here with your ultimatums to the coaching staff. And also, I still want to coach the team. He lied about the players want me to. Some did. Most were more concerned about their coaching position players, coaches. And he hijacked the season. And then how about LSU paying his bonuses? Mm-hmm. If LSU wins playoff games, they pay Kiffin his bonuses that were in his contract. Unbelievable.
For this guy.
Who's never won anything.
No, never.
Yeah, okay, you had a great season. You got hit by the deck with the schedule. You did a nice job with Trinidad. You blew it last year. You had Jackson Darty. You lost. You lost to Kentucky and Florida.
Could have won the whole thing last year. Maybe they don't beat Ohio State, but I'm pretty convinced they were the second best team in the country. Got a tweet here from Harry B., longtime VSiN listener, lives in New Orleans. A radio poll this morning indicated 58% of LSU callers are not happy with him. The theme is that they're going to do this. He's going to do the same exact thing here that he did to Ole Miss. This is a great tweet from Kyle Bonagura, covers college football for ESPN. He ranked Lane Kiffin's all-time exits.
Yeah.
Number one, getting tarmacked.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Hayden wouldn't let him come back on the bus.
Nope, fired on the tarmac USC gig. Al Davis overhead projector when he was with the Raiders. How did this guy get the Raiders job?
I don't know. His last name helped.
He also said then whatever we're calling this one. Yeah, this is a total. Don't forget the Knoxville riots.
Left after 1 year.
1 year in Tennessee.
Yeah.
They were rioting because of it. Number 5, Saban didn't let him coach the title game. And then Nick Saban saying to Ole Miss, let him coach. What are you talking about? You fired the guy.
What are they doing? What happened to Herb?
And Saban?
Herb Street and Saban, I know.
It's preposterous what they're trying to tell the crowd.
He's going to your rival, I know. This is Dan Walk at Yahoo. The SEC is a league where a Tennessee coach was served a subpoena at Media Day. An Ole Miss coach was fired for calling an escort service on his phone, and a university phone. And an Alabama coach lasted 4 months after an incident at a strip club. But none of them have done more damage to their profession, the reputation of the league, and the image of the sport than Kiffin walking out on a playoff team and dragging a wrecking ball behind him. Historic, unfathomable, and a disgrace. It's easy to blame the system and this nonsense that ESPN pulled over the weekend. But it's just a shame what happened here.
I think the best tweet that I saw regarding this guy, again, it's not just this incident, it's his entire resume. He's the only guy ever who wants to stand on the bridge while he's burning it down. And that's him.
Yeah.
He does this on purpose. You said this earlier in the show.
Yeah, there's a great source in the article. He loves to mess with people.
He's like a prankster.
Yeah. His mom's nickname for him was Helicopter. And there's a source that it was Todd McShay and other people that he already had the house picked out and the house was ready to go a week ago in Baton Rouge.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand the love for him whatsoever. Up next, we're going to dive into Week 14 numbers in the NFL. The free fall is all too real if they lose this game on Sunday.